You're looking at a wheel and debris from what's left of a small plane that broke apart and crashed into an East Palo Alto neighborhood after clipping a 12,000-volt power transmission tower. The crash started several fires. The crash cut electricity to parts of East Palo Alto and Palo Alto.
The 3 people on board that plane were killed. The Menlo Park Fire Department says miraculously nobody on the ground was hurt. The plane took off from the Palo Alto airport and crashed in heavy fog just before 8 this morning, leaving a field of debris around Beach and Polgus Avenue. Teresa Garcia begins our team coverage near the scene. Teresa.
Well, good morning. We are right around the corner from where the plane wreckage is now on Beach Street behind me. We're on Polgus Avenue with FAA investigators now on the scene. This is going to be a long, disturbing day as they start to pick through some of that debris and chart out the path of exactly how this crash happened. You can see in some of our pictures here parts of the plane strewn across Beach Street, pieces of it, including a wing that peeled off that hit 2 homes, one of those being a home daycare, several cars, and a wall in front of one house. Now, one home, many cars, and surrounding vegetation lit on fire. That was put out by about 60 firefighters who got here on scene. The FAA says the twin-engine Cessna 310 had left Santa Clara County's Palo Alto Airport, which is about 1.5 miles from here. It had a flight path destined for Hawthorne Municipal Airport in Southern California. Emergency responders do confirm all 3 aboard died in the crash. Their identities have not yet been confirmed. Now, why this plane crash happened is still unclear. Dense fog may be a factor, but that will come out during the investigation. This plane first took out 3 main transmission lines, but one fire chief calls its following path of destruction a fortunate one.
It looks at this point that the aircraft was able to stay on the residential street. So outside of the wing that came off, it looks like the aircraft, maybe intentionally, we won't know, was able to impact on the street itself. So it could have been a very different story had it impacted into the homes. So part of it did impact into the homes. Part of the aircraft did ricochet off some of the homes and started fires in the street. But overall, it could have been much worse this morning.
Well, fortunately, it didn't hit anyone else on the street in the homes. They say they don't have anyone unaccounted for, but of course they will be picking through that debris just to ensure no one else got hurt. FAA investigators, as we said, are on the scene right now. This, of course, turned into a very disturbing situation. Not only that it's a tragedy for the 3 who died aboard that plane, you've got a widespread community without power, but many people who live here, who heard it, who felt it, and are a part of this situation. So Vic Lee has been here. He's been out with the community. Vic, I understand you have heard a lot of disturbing stories, so you'll share that now with everyone.
It is disturbing, and of course this is a terrible tragedy, Teresa. Basically, behind me you see the scene there in the house where the plane's wing hit is directly behind me. Now, the plane's wing hit the house, and the house caught on fire. That house belongs to Lisa Jones Smith. She runs a daycare center. Normally at this time there would be, I'm told, about 6 children in that house. At the time the plane's wing hit her house and the fire broke out, I'm told there were about 7 people in the house. Lisa Smith, her husband, her 3 children, a teacher, and a teacher's aide. But all of them got out safely, thank God. Now, you're going to hear 3 interviews here from family, 2 of them family members of Smith. The first is Bree East, who is a cousin of Lisa Smith. The second, Tanya Jackson, who is Smith's sister. And the third is Karen Ramirez, who lives next door. Take a listen.
When the plane crashed, when it lost its wing, apparently it went out of control and it hit the back end of her home, which ignited into flames.
I think it was like 1 or 2 kids in there only. The teacher got them out safe, and she got out safe. When she heard the explosion, she looked out the window and seen the flames and the fire from the back of the house. So they were in the front of the house, so they was able to evacuate out the house without anybody getting hurt.
Both of my dad's trucks were on fire. He had the fire hose trying to put them out, and our next door neighbors told us to come out of the house because, the trucks might explode. The cops told us to evacuate.
Well, that was Karen Ramirez, the neighbor of the house that caught on fire. The plane's fuselage, by the way, skidded onto the street, narrowly missing other homes. And so the fire chief told us that either by chance or pilot intention, the plane did that. And thank God it did, because if the plane had hit other homes on this street, the homes are narrowly packed together, it would have been a bigger tragedy. Vic Lee, ABC 7 News.